Hey there, it's Crafty Jennabug. If you've been watching my monthly junk journal series, you know what this means. A paper bag on my desk all busted up. It means we're making another journal for another month. This will be the month of May. I cannot believe that I have made 4 journals so far this year and continue on with this series. I usually don't stick with something this long, but I'm determined to make one every month and decorate it just because I said I was going to do it. So if you haven't seen those, what we're going to do is we're going to take this paper bag and turn it into a journal. This will be the cover of the journal. I have already taken the liberty of busting out the bottom because we don't need it. We needed it to be flat, and I'm actually going to cut here, and then let's go ahead and do that. Cut that off. So this will be the cover. I took a plain piece of copy paper and folded it in half because that's the maximum size of paper I will have in this journal. And I'm just setting it down here to figure out where I want this to be. Let's see if I fold this over. I've got a little bit of, excuse me. If I fold it over, I've got some room for a spine. Let me back that up a little bit more. Yes. So I think this is a good, I'm going to eyeball it up here because I'm a monster. Do that. And then I'm going to cut this off. And I'm not going to measure because, like I said, I'm a monster. Ooh, that's really getting crooked. Come on now. Yeah, I went really crooked there because I didn't measure. There we go. That'll work. Put these to the side. We could probably use them later. Alright, so let's make sure my paper fits. Yep, the margins are a little smaller than initially expected, but that will be the journal. Cool. Yeah, I probably should have measured. Just because these margins are a little smaller than I would like them to be. So, I mean, I could unfold that. I think I did that for a different journal. And then that gives me too much margins. And it makes it a little flimsier. We'll do it the other way. Keeping this part folded in the bottom of the page, or keeping this part folded in the bottom of the book adds a little bit of stability to it overall. So we're going to have small upper and lower margins, and we're just going to be okay with it. Next, we got to cover this in something because this doesn't exactly make a desirable looking journal cover. I so far have used fabrics of various types, and that's not going to change today. I have this beautiful flower covered fabric, and so with the April journal, the theme was April showers, and for May, bring May flowers. So the theme of this journal will be flowers. Therefore, this fabric is perfect. I love all the echinacea. Well, we're going to have to lay down some glue. I'm going to use the Yes paste once again. And I'm going to coat this side, lay my fabric down, flatten it out, let it dry, flip it, do the same. All right, I took the liberty of covering this paper bag with a thin layer of Yes Paste off camera. And then I'm going to take this fabric and I'm going to lay it down with an overlap. I'm going to smooth it out, attempting to keep wrinkles from forming. If they do, I'm not that worried about it. So here is the cover, the outer cover. Here on the inner cover, I don't have any fabric that will work well with this, so I think I'm going to go through my scrapbook paper and find a 12 by 12 sheet that I can cut down to fit, and then use that to line the inside. All right, I think I found a paper that I want to use. It is gorgeous, is it not? And I didn't want something to overpower the busyness of the front cover, and I think this just complements it. So I'm going to cut it down. Let's see, to about here. And this I will measure. All right, that is now glued down. And I'm pretty happy with that. Now I need to trim the edges of the fabric to be roughly the same length. All right, and for that, I typically use tacky glue for that, for the edges, just because it holds a little better, especially with these shorter edges. It holds a little better than the Yes Paste. All right, and then, let's see, what does it look like if I just fold it over? Oh man, I did cut it way too close on that side. What side's going to cover well? Well, let me see. It's going to be upside down. Can I glue this to accommodate? Yes, it looks a little strange, but I'm going for it. All right, and I am going to trim these little corner pieces where I folded it over. I'm just trimming those off. This side looks a little better, and I will trim this off once it's dry. All right, there's the cover. Like I said, I got a few things to trim off once the glue is dry. But I love it. I think that is gorgeous. Yes, indeed. This is going to dry, and then it'll be ready to sew around the edges and decorate. You didn't think I was going to not use this gel plate for making pages, right? Like, why wouldn't I use the gel plate? It's one of my new favorite things. So I'm going to use it to decorate a few pages that I want to put in the May journal. And in my stash, I have this really cool stencil, and I thought it might make a neat page. And what I am going to do is use it and some stencil brushes to decorate a paper. So the first thing I'm going to do is, so what I want to do is I want to use yellow in the center to orange to red. And I'm going to use a green for the leaves, obviously, and I'm undecided on whether I want to include the bees. So let's start in the center, shall we? All right, let's see what this looks like. Okay, cool, cool. Gonna have to let that dry before I do anything else. All right, I changed my mind. I decided I don't want to let this dry yet because I have this paper that I dyed off camera with a mix of coffee and various distress sprays. And this side, I want to put it on. So I'm going to just center it. All right, let's see, the moment of truth. Yes. Fantastic. It's not perfect. Some of the places had dried a little bit, but I love it. That is absolutely amazing, and I am so thrilled. You can't really see the yellow in the center, but I'm not mad at all. Again, with the jelly plate, I really liked the result I got from the other one, but now I want to try a little something different, something I've never done before. I'm going to use this Apple Barrel acrylic paint in Toffee, and I'm going to just splat some down. Ooh, whoa, 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 what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? You're getting a little crazy there. This paint just decided to do its own thing. All right, then. Next, take my brayer and braid around. All right, and then I have two fern leaves, fern fronds, from out of my garden. And I'm going to lay them down like so and have them leave their impression. I guess I need to take a piece of paper, clean my brayer a bit, and then bray over them. That turned out cool. It's not what I was going for, but I think it's cool. I wanted the paint to stay, but I kind of like what I got going on here. Now I gotta let that dry. Although now actually, let me try this. I'm gonna take this back. Shouldn't have taken it up all the way, but too late now. Let me see if I can line this up better. Okay, now I'm gonna rub this. See if I can't get some of that texture on the paper. I can always go get more fronds if I need to. Okay, yeah, something like that. Something like that. Not quite what I wanted, but I don't hate it. So, let's scooch this over. Alright, so here's what I want to do. I want to take these. Oh, the paint is dry. Sweet, kind of. And I want to put paint on them so that when I lay them down, their imprint gets on the paper. And I want to do that in this artichoke heart green. And I'm just going to put some on this scrap paper. I've got packing paper next to me for cleaning off my brayer, and I'm just going to squirt it there and then bray it on here. Let's see how this works. So, actually, let's do this one over here because it's smaller. And I will lay this one down there. Give it a good squeeze. See if this works the way I hope it does. I might not have put enough paint on it. Oh, actually, That worked pretty darn well. I messed it up a little by moving it, but that is what I was going for. Okay, let's do that again. Try this time with a little bit more paint. Oops. Alright, let's see how this one goes. Oh, kicking stuff, hitting stuff, smacking stuff. Okay, okay. So that's going to need to dry before I can do the next layer. Okay, this is dried. And I decided, since I have the toffee color already, it was already on some of the leaves, because I just used the same leaves. I am going to use some antique white as the background color. And then I have this piece of paper picked out for use in my, it's one of the pages for the junk journal, but the white is back. The back is white. So I'm going to use this to decorate the back of the page. Oh my goodness, that is so cool. Yep. That's exactly what I wanted. And then I will cut the sides down a bit. I love it. That is absolutely gorgeous. This might have to get scanned before it goes into my journal so that I have a copy of it, because it is fantastic. For this one, I want to use this stencil and maybe these afterwards. I have this Folk Art metallic gold. Ooh, very nice. So this is dried a little bit. It's not completely dry, but I do want to use these before I print this page. So I'm going to use some rich brown. For this, I'm going to use a sponge brush. There we go. And then that can dry as well. And once they are both completely dry, I will come in with the background color, which I think will be a lighter brown than that. Maybe the toffee color. I think that would be really pretty. All right, these have dried. They're looking great. I'm excited. And I'm going to use a light brown. Let's use golden brown. I'm going to use Apple Barrel's golden brown. And off camera, I took some of the paint that I had used to stamp this and took a paper towel and kind of just like dabbed it around. So just to give a little bit more interest to the page. Okay, wonderful. Now I'm going to make this print on the back of this paper that I have pulled for one of the pages in my junk journal. Oh no, not all of it came up. Not all of it came up, but that's okay. I think for this, I'm just going to use some Buttercup and some Spring Green and lift what's on here. Okay, that's interesting. Very interesting. But now I have a clean jelly plate, and I didn't waste any of this. I think I've got this Martha Stewart flower stencil, and I think I'm going to just use what paint I have left on the sprayer. Since I still have paint on the brayer, this is going to be one page, and this will be the other. I'm just gonna... Oh, what? That looks cool. I put paint just on this part, and I'm just gonna do like that. That way that page has more paint all over it. While I wait for the jelly plate to dry, I decided I want to use the jelly plate packaging again to dye some paper with the Distress Oxides. So what I'm doing is I'm just using the packaging of the jelly plate because it is plastic. And what I will do is I will take a little bit of, let's do some frayed burlap. See how that goes. And I'm just gonna do a little of that. And then I will take a little mustard seed and smear it around as well. I guess I could have sprayed it. And I will also take a little peeled paint and just kind of touch it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a little bit of water and I'm going to spray this. And I'm also probably going to use too much water there. A little of that. Mustard seed, which is disgusting. Okay, that's all right. That, and then I want to. Okay. Now I'm going to dip my paper in it. Ooh, that is very yellow. Let me dry that real quick because that did not turn out how I hoped. Alright, I picked up what was left on here on this piece of paper, and it's pretty cool. This paper is pretty much dry, and I'm going to clean this off real quick and give it a dry with a paper towel. Okay, since this didn't quite come out the way I wanted it to, I'm going to build up from here. And I wanted browns and greens, and this is very yellow. So I'll take a little vintage photo. And a little frayed burlap. And let's go with forest moss. And I'm not going to add as much water because I think that may be where I messed up. Maybe I didn't add enough. Okay. So now I'm just going to take this paper and dip it in there. Still not quite what I was going for, but closer in the direction of what I was going for. So I'm gonna, before I dry it, I'm gonna take a little walnut stain and spritz it. Just to try to break up some of that crazy yellow. Oops. And I think I will take a little mowed lawn and do the same. There. Okay, now I'm going to dry this. I'm still not quite happy with it. I think because it was still wet, my ink, the sprays oxidized a bit early. So maybe I will try to do a little bit more splatters now that it's dry. There we go. I think I like that better. Can also, they ended up oxidizing too. Okay, this one's gonna hang up to dry. All right, this paint has dried. I decided to use this coffee color and just a smidge of dark chocolate. Oh crap. That was way more than I intended to put on there, but oh well, we're rolling with it now. Literally rolling with it. Ha ha ha. I have this sheet, which I also plan to use, and I'm going to put it down here. Actually, I'm going to stick this up here so I can lift that at the same time. Ooh, that's cool. A little bit of collage fodder. Awesome. Very, very cool. I have 2 more pieces of scrapbook paper that I want to do the back of. I'm just going to roll this here. And then add a little bit of that dark chocolate. And then before this dries, I want to make some stamps. Now I have some butterflies. Yay, butterflies! I'm going to take this stencil. Then I'm going to take some light pink. Lift the stencil. That is gorgeous. This is dry, and I'm going to use some antique white. It will go on the back of this sheet. Oh, I didn't even think about the fact that there's a grid over here. I hope it's not too visible. So, because you can see the grid, it's not my favorite, but I still really like it. I'm going to use some black acrylic paint. I braid on this stamp. Not real legible, but this lotusy stamp thing that I made. Then a butterfly. Okay. And that's that. I think I'm going to put the jelly plate away and start figuring out signatures. Alright, here is my stack of potentials. This I made, I don't even know when I made it, but it was an envelope, and I decided to make it into something that would go in a journal to be 2 pockets. I might have to trim this a little bit. Actually, I will most likely have to. So, but that I thought would fit pretty well. Another envelope pocket. I decorated it with Distress inks. This is a little like half page. I used some stamps and Distress sprays and ink pads. Cute little something something. An envelope. I used the negatives from these to decorate. I would figure out something else to do there. This page I'm going to cut like this because it kind of looks like abstract. In an abstract way, it looks like flowers growing. So I think I'll take it off around here. So yeah, that would be either fold it in half this way or this way. You know, it doesn't have, it actually is kind of asking to be a centerpiece because then you could really see what it is. So that might be a center page of one of the signatures. Then we have these butterflies. I might cut this down. I'm unsure. That's the other side of that page. This page, I think I might rip that off. I really like this one. And I left out these as well. This, of course, is going in, definitely. It's just plain green on the back. I just need to scan it. Same with this. I'm not sure if this one will go in, but I'm definitely going to scan it. This one is dry now. It may or may not become a page. I have not decided yet. This one, and that was just a piece of plain copy paper, so this is what it looks like on the back. This page, I wish I hadn't used that golden brown. I wish I had stuck with more of a tan color so that this gold pops a bit more. But, and yeah, of course that's the back. I can always cover that with something. This I love. I will end up probably putting more yellow in the middle, possibly. Cool background. This is part of a newspaper. It was an ad actually, but I thought it looked gorgeous. I needed to go in there. This is the negative of a stencil I sprayed through. I don't know where the other part is, but I thought it would make like a neat like half page. There are a lot of half pages in here. Some packing paper that ended up getting stenciled on and sprayed. More packing paper with some green shimmery acrylic paint and some other shimmery paint all over it. This page is a piece of thicker scrapbook paper, but I love these birds. I thought they were just so cute. And the back is brown designed. This page, I'm not sure if it's going to make its way, but it was in my stack. And it's just plain copy paper on the back. So this might end up being background for tags. I really like that butterfly. I could probably work it in or collage fodder. And then this one also, I'm not so sure about. I don't really like the grids. I wish I had thought about the fact that it was going to be see-through. I do have another piece of this paper that doesn't have anything on the back yet. So this is a maybe. But that leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, maybe 14 pages, which would be 7 per signature. 1 and 4 of these. So that would be a total of 9 pieces per signature. I could deal with that. Still not sure about that. Okay, I have taken the liberty to fold up my pages. I have a total of what, 18, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, yeah. So I have 18 pages or like elements that I want to add. So that means 9 pages per signature. I've got these. This is 6 roughly full-size pages. There's one that's a little smaller. These are smaller pages that have weird offset folds, which will end up being 1 per signature. I've got these 2 pieces of packing paper and 2 of these folded with sewn, 2 of these folded pages with sewn tuck spots, so 1 of each per signature. And then these elements, there are 4 of them, so 2 each per signature. As far as the middle of each signature, I have this page, which looked like the abstract flowers blooming. And I have this one, because I just love it so much. I did scan this, so yeah, I'm excited about that. All right, now what to do next? I think this page I want to be the first page, you know, like the outer page of a signature, because I love these birds. I wish they could be the first page, but I don't, there's no way to fold it so that that would happen. So I think this will be the last page in the first signature. But what should go next? All right, first thing I'm going to do, I have found the center point in this journal. Using paper on the inside made it not as flexible, so beware that. I just folded it in half and then marked right there. So that's roughly where my center is. And I will, let's see, how many are these? How wide are these? They're a little over 1/2 centimeter. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go 2 blocks. They're almost 1/2 centimeter between each line. And so I'm going to just use 2 blocks between each signature. So what I got to do first is figure out how, what I'm doing is I'm making a template for poking holes in the journal. I have aligned these how I want them, and I just need to figure out how tall to make this template. So, how wide do I need it to be? I've got 2 signatures. I want there to be a little space. So, 2 signatures. We'll say there's one, there's another, and then I'll cut to here. All right, my template looks like this so far. I'm gonna go ahead and write top up here so that I can keep track of the top. I'm gonna draw a line here. That's where one signature will be sewn. And that's where the second one will be sewn. So I will fold along that line. For my own ease of use later. Okay. And I want to go with the 5-hole pamphlet stitch. I did a 3-hole in the April journal and I regretted it. It's not as sturdy as the 5-hole. So in order to figure out where to put my holes, I'm going to fold this in half and see where I end up. Right on that line, perfect. So this is going to be the center holes, and I will be poking holes everywhere these lines intersect. So I don't want to sew into the fabric at the top and bottom. So I think I will make the top hole will be a centimeter roughly from the top, and the same with the bottom. And that means I just need to figure out the midpoint between there. So that is roughly, so that is my template. That's going to give me a hole here, 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 and here for each signature. So now I have to poke some holes. And what I will do is use a little tape to keep this in place. Let me see, am I centered? And I will poke a hole through at the intersection of each of these lines that I drew. Alright, so we've got our holes poked. And now we gotta poke holes in the signatures. I've already got these butted up against each other fairly well. And then this, the reason why I folded this was so that it would go in here just like so. I'm going to line it up so that it is butted up against there, and then I will tape it down just like I did the other one. And then I'm only going to poke holes through this line. Alright, I've got some ecru colored DMC floss. And that's what I'm going to use for this. I'm going to roughly measure out 3 times the height of my journal. And I'm going to use all 6 strands. I like to start with the last signature first because I feel like it just sits better that way. I don't know. I'm going to leave these clipped while I sew. I'm going to start sewing. I want some dangles on the spine of this journal like I did with the March one. Oop, I punched my light. So I'm going to start on the outside. And then I'm going to leave quite a tail. Quite a tail. And then I will tape it to the front of the book to keep it in place while I sew. So, I'm going to insert, oh, that one was a little off. Okay. I think I've only got 2 pages up this high. Yep. And sew. And then I'm going to go into the second hole. Into the second hole. Oh, you know what I just did? I did a dumb thing. I went through the second hole of the first signature. That was smart. Don't do that. Okay, let's try that again. So I'm going to go in the second hole for the second signature. Not sure why that was so confusing to me, but it was. And then again into the third hole for the second signature. And I'm leaving a little bit of slack up here. See, I'm leaving a little slack while I sew. I'll pull it tight later. And then through the fourth hole. then into the 5th. Now I'm going to pull it kind of tight. Yeah, we're good there. And then I'm going to go through this hole, trying not to go through the thread from the previous pass through. So it can be a bit challenging. I think we got it. Same with each other hole. Make sure I get in the hole. Oh, okay. Not only did I get in the hole. There we go. And since I want to make a dangle, I'm not going to go back through the top hole. What I will do instead is remove my thread from the needle, pull tightly, flip and make sure that I don't have any slack. Now that's perfect. And then I will I will tie these together up here. For now, I'm going to leave this long. So yeah, I'm going to tie it one more time just for my own peace of mind. And then I'm going to cut this so that it's not quite so long. All right, I'm going to do the exact same thing for the first signature. I'm going to do it off camera though. All right, my signatures are sewn in. I've got my loose threads here. And there it is. Awesome. I'm really excited to start working in this. But before I do that, I have a little something I want to do to the outside. I have this lace that has all these little yellow flowers all over it. And I want to cover this up a little bit while also decorating it. Then I gotta get these pulled through. So what I think I'm going to do is use the matte medium gel. And then I'll be able to tell how well it holds up. But I think that is just gorgeous along that spine. And then it's going to just look even better when I can hold it like a normal book. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to let that dry. This has dried. I think it's gonna hold quite well with that. And that just leaves us with what we want to put on here. That just leaves us with what to put on this, on these strings for the dangles. I think I got this mostly figured out. Mostly being the operative word. I've got a few different beads and charms. I've got this flower bead, it's glass, and I've got a couple of green glass leaves. And I've got a metal flower, and this is to build a dragonfly. This is to build a dragonfly. I'm going to use some E-beads to do that. I think what I'm going to do is, on this short one, I'll build the dragonfly. I've got a couple of other beads around. I've got a couple of pink glass beads and a couple of green glass beads. There we have it. It ended up being a little longer than I initially envisioned, but I'm not mad about it. I like how one ends and the other starts. Alright, I think that's where I'm going to end this video. The journal is made. I think I'm going to leave the name of the month off of the front as a kind of nod to the April journal, because since they are connected, April showers bring May flowers. And I like it a lot the way it is. So I'm gonna have to think on that to decide if I want to put anything on the front. Yeah, so thank you for watching. I hope you are as excited as I am to see what happens with this journal. And next time you see it, we'll be working in it. Thanks so much. I hope you have a great day.